For this drawing tutorial, I'm going to show you all how to create a banner or ribbon. It's in the shape of a banner. And so let's get started. Follow along. The beginning step would be to draw a slightly curved line, and then to mirror that line just underneath. That distance between these two lines is going to determine how wide the whole rest of the banner becomes. So if you want a thinner banner, make your lines closer together. From the bottom edge, you're gonna swoop, swoop, swoop out. And then again, swoop, curving in and out like that. You can kind of adjust your curves if they're not quite, flowing and curving the way you want, but you can always clean them up as you go. So this is the base of our banner, and now we're going to put in the widths, the width of the banner. So I'm going to kind of curve in and curve out again because I want my banner to look like it's really flowing and bending naturally. So I'm going to create that line there. Then from the widest point, I'm going to draw up. And pretty simple, I do the same thing here too. The widest point of that curve, I just draw a line straight up from the widest point of the curve. And I'm gonna draw up the same way from these outside curves. So to recap, I've found the widest point of the curves and I have drawn up from each one of those points. Now, the width of the banner is the same the whole length of the banner. So if this curve in here is rather wide on your curves, you may end up having a banner with a bit of a, it may not come all the way up, meaning the width of your banner may not be wide enough. You might see a little bit of the back edge of it in there. It just depends on how narrow the width of your banner is and how wide the curve of these two initial curves are. So if your curves are kind of compressed and closer together like mine are, you won't see the back edge of the banner. So you'll just draw straight up. And it's a little easier to do that way with curves that are more compressed tighter together and a wider width to your banner. Again, we want to follow the curve. This is the front of the banner. We want to imagine the back of the banner follows that same curve. So I'm going to curve, make sure that curve is mirrored here on the back. And I'm going to want to try and avoid pointy edges. So if you see that your ribbon or your banner has pointy edges, you just want to smooth them out. Now all we have to do is finish this. So we imagine that our banner comes like that. Try to copy that same curve of the lower part of the banner. It might be a little less curved there. And then you can finish it with a straight edge, or you can make kind of that snake tongue edge to yours. It just depends on how you are feeling, right? If you want it straight, if you want it, kind of cut fancy at the end there. Now we have to add some shading because the shadow and the light are what gives our banner three-dimensionality. I'm looking at it. I'm just adjusting everything. I want to actually make this a little wider here because that looked a little too narrow compared to the width up here. You want the width of your banner to match the whole way through, okay? So I'm gonna look at this. This looks a little on the thin side. I could make that a little wider too to match the width of this. So maybe I will just make that very slight adjustment on that section of the ribbon, okay? It would be very normal for you to have to make adjustments to your ribbon too. Okay, now let's start in on our shading. Let's say that the light is kind of coming from above, right down on top of the ribbon. Anytime you have a heavy kind of curve or bend in the ribbon where your ribbon is folding over itself, like in these deep curves, it's going to be a darker shadow. So I'm just going to start in those tightest curves and I am going to make those my darkest shadow spots. And I start out kind of quick and then I clean it up. So I start by just blocking in the shading and then I clean it up by smoothing it out and erasing any pencil lines that kind of go outside of where I want them to. Okay, I will refine it. So I start by blocking in the shadow and then I refine it. Again here, I'm going to make this shadow pretty dark. It's going to lighten up a bit and it's also going to get a little bit darker right there at that curve as it bends around back that way. So here you have a shadow right next to another shadow. In order for us to have a differentiation, for us to see, okay, this shadow is different than the one right next to it, you have to decide which shadow is going to be dominant, meaning this curve or that curve, which one's going to be darker. I'm thinking this one looks like it's going to be covered more by a ribbon above it, so it's going to be darker than this shadow here. I'm going to lighten it up as I get closer to that dark point. Again, so I have, this is my dominant shadow here, and this is the dominant shadow. So then its neighboring shadow has to be a little lighter. And we do that so that you can help to show the three-dimensionality. It will look more 3D if your shadows are not all the same tone, right? So when you're shading, you're changing the tonal range as you go. And you're the artist, so you get to decide. You think about it logically. Where would the light be, have the hardest time reaching? It would have the hardest time reaching back into these little corners, so that's why it's darker there. Where would there be the most shadows? So you think about it logically, and then you make artistic decisions when you say, okay, they might both be shadowed, but which shadow is darker? Okay, gonna make this fold fairly dark as well. curve. I'm going to make that, give that a little bit of shadow. Blend it a bit. Now this is just a rough sketch. I'm not really making this super finalized ribbon here, or else it might take close to an hour, right? I'm just showing you how you would block in the basic shapes and shadows. Now, if you were really making your own ribbon here, you could actually shade quite a bit of it and then erase out some beautiful highlights, right? You think of satin ribbons that are not white, right? Unless they're white, they're not gonna be the white of the paper. Unless it's a white ribbon, then you won't have that much white on it. Say you have a satin ribbon though, it's gonna have some sheen where it reflects the light. So most of it's gonna be shaded, varying degrees of light to dark gray. And then there will be erased out highlights from where the shine of the ribbon is reflecting the light. So you can get real fancy with your ribbons and your shading, but I'm not gonna go that fancy right now because, or else this video would take a very, very long time. Again, if I overblend something and things kind of get messy or muddled and they don't have as clean edges, I just go back in after I blend with my finger and I refine and define some of the areas so that I'm not over blending, right? So it's nice to blend some, but when you over blend, everything kind of just falls flat. All right, what do we do with the top of our ribbon? Let's give it a little bit of shadow coming off of that curve. And when things have very heavy outlines, they tend to look a little bit flatter. So if you are gonna really finish and finalize your ribbon, you might wanna have a tiny bit of a shadow next to these heavy outlines to kind of create an edge rather than a heavy outline. And that would be a nice way to improve the three-dimensionality of your ribbon. But I'm just gonna add some basic shadows in there, and then that's it.